Hello there, thanks a lot for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard. And check out this baby, huh? Headlined by Mom's Mabley. My goodness, how often do I show you a comedian's poster? But boy, was she ever popular. Did you know that Mom's Mabley charted 13 albums on Billboard's Top LPs chart in the 1960s, a number equaled by Bill Cosby? And here you have Mom's Mabley, so that's just amazing. She was quite the cat's meow when it came to comedians in the 1960s. So I've got a couple of delightful Globe posters to show you today with Moms as the headliner, and of course lots of other fun musicians on here as well. But you know, before I get into the musicians and go any further, I mean, did you catch that top line, the slug line of the poster? Biggest show of stars for 67. I was shocked when I came across this because we know about, I'm going to call them BSOS posters, biggest show of stars, from 1957 spring through 1965 fall, and nothing from 66 onwards, and then instead of a 66 turning up, I managed to find this 1967 one, so that begs a couple of questions. Did they make one in 66? And you know, there's a couple more that, you know, we're not aware of. Or did just some rogue promoter take the name Biggest Show of Stars because the series had declined or stopped? And, you know, that's why there's no Supersonic Attractions or APO Productions or anything. It's just Biggest Show of Stars. However, one possible argument against that is that they print these color portions by the thousands ahead of time. And so, you know, if they just decided to grab, maybe they got verbal permission to use it, but if they just went rogue and grabbed the expression, they'd have to throw away thousands of color posters if anybody gave them a hard time about it. So I'm just not really sure. I imagine in a few more years, if some more samples turn up, either from 67 or especially, I should say, 66, we might have a better clue. But in the meanwhile, it's just really still a fun, you know, it's a fun concert poster, and I'm leaning toward thinking that it really is a legitimate Biggest Show of Stars concert poster. Interestingly how it's the most creative use of that slug line. As you can see, you've got show in Mom's hat, and then 67 having quite an artistic flair to itself, and much bigger than any of the others. Now this doesn't say spring edition, but the show was in the spring of 1967, as you can see there, Friday, May 12th, and in Knoxville, Tennessee, at the Civic Coliseum. Very much a tour blank. So in addition to Mom's Mabley on there, you do have Wilson Pickett. We all know about him, right? And the song given is Everybody Needs Somebody to Love, his most recent top 20 rhythm and blues hit. A lot of us know it from the Rolling Stones cover version very early on, I believe their first album. And let's see, then you've got, well, Everybody Needs Somebody to Love was written by the guy below him, funny enough, and that's Solomon Burke, as you can see plugged as the king of rock and soul, with that small white crown on his head that's obscured a little bit by the hole in the poster, but you know, you can see that it is a crown on there. And then in the middle, right dead center of the poster, you've got James and Bobby Purify. I can't believe it doesn't have a song title. Look at that, just their names and pictures. Oh man, I mean, I'm Your Puppet is just, you know, one of my favorite soul ballads of all the 1960s. And it went top 10 both pop and R&B the previous year, but they decided to put no song title on there for them. And then finishing the row, you've got Spider Turner there with Stand By Me, which was a top 5 R&B hit for him. Now, of course, it's an evergreen by Benny King, but in this case, Turner took that famous song and turned it sort of in a tribute to other soul music acts and actually imitates people like Jackie Wilson, Smokey Robinson, and the Temptations and so forth. So it's a really fun listen. Then you get to the bottom row of the poster, and that row is easily won by Arthur Conley. For heaven's sake, sweet soul music. Wow, what a legendary song that lives on to this day. And on the really fun side is it was the #2 record in the country on the pop charts this very week of this concert. Then you've also got on there Jimmy Hughes, Why Not Tonight, was a top 5 R&B hit. And then finally you get a letdown with a chart performance there, and you've got Johnny Taylor, and with a non-charting single listed, move my hand there. However, as you probably know, we had a #1 hit the next year with Who's Making Love, and went on to a fabulous career in the 1970s. So that's Mom's Mabley headlining this one from, you know, the spring of 1967. Well, let's show you the other moms I have here for you. We're going to go from spring to fall. And whoa, look at this beauty. Look at the colors on this one that Mom's Mabley is headlining. Isn't this beautiful? Another Globe poster, tour blank with, you know, the information changing up top. And boy, this one's just a real beauty. It has no theme or anything, tagline to the tour, but it does say, as you can see on there, Supersonic Attractions, quite a promoter of the day. And Mom's hat, as you can see, is, has gone to Dayglow Yellow, and it even gives not a song title, because you can't really do that for a comedian, but it does give an album title, Moms at the UN, and all that was her highest charting LP ever of those 13 in the 60s. Came out in 61 and went into Billboard's top 20. Boy, to get a comedy album in Billboard's top 20 selling albums, you really got to be on the ball. So, quickly run through a little bit of this next to Mom's there. In fact, you have some carryovers from the previous posters, you can see. You've got Solomon Burke and Johnny Taylor and Jimmy Hughes below them in the green stripe, and all three of those are carryovers from the previous Biggest Show of Stars poster. Interestingly, they each have 2 song titles here for a total of 6, and none of the 6 appeared on the previous poster because it was, of course, the spring, so essentially a half a year ago. And then you've got 4 more acts on here, as you can see. As I get a little bit, I really like the Intruders on there, and they were just getting started with their career. But I'd really like to single out for a second, I should move my hand, look at that nice picture too, Betty Harris with Cry to Me. Boy, that was really an important record that's really carried on nicely. Not only was it a top 10 R&B hit for Betty Harris, but, you know, it's been covered ever since by a lot of people. A couple that come to mind are the Rolling Stones and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. So, Cry to Me, a very significant song. So, as I said, this is a tour blank, so what I want to do here is jump ahead a couple of weekends for you, and this time, instead of a real poster, I've got a picture of a real poster for 2 weeks hence, to Sunday, November 12th, in Greensboro, North Carolina. Okay, now I'm going to switch over here to get this in so you can certainly see it clearly. Look at that. It's a nice picture that tells us what we need to know. Now this has a lot more venue information up in the top, and it's got a lot of masking tape around the edges as well, but that's okay. But what's really interesting about this, besides, you know, the Greensboro and the Sunday, November 12th and stuff, is the 2 artists bottom billed in that blue stripe across the poster, or at least with the blue info. They've changed. Look at that. It says the Fantastic Four and the Precisions. See those photos in the middle and the Fantastic Four and the Precisions? Whereas on this poster that I'm showing you, look at that. Yeah, you've got the Artistics and the Intruders. And boy, that's interesting how, you know, it's a tour blank that everything else is exactly the same, except those 2 opening acts are changed, and it's only, what did I say, 12 days later or something. So that's, you know, that's the remarkable, the way they change these tour blanks. James Brown sometimes would change tour blanks like he changed his sweatbands. I mean, there can be, you know, all kinds of variations on his, and I have video blogs, some of those. But I think I'd probably lean toward having this poster because I just love the Intruders' hit Cowboys to Girls, a #1 smash the following year in 1968. But at this point, in 67, they were a bottom-billed act. So there you have it, Mom's Mabley, a couple of beautiful globes for her, and a great comedian, and a lot of fun things to talk about with these 2 posters. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for coming by. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.